Welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson, and do I have a treat for you today? If you're a constant viewer of my show, you know that I have chefs come in and cook all the time, but today we're going to have someone to show us how to cook healthy soul food. Now, healthy soul food, I'm not convinced that that's possible, but my chef today, Selwyn Davis, is going to show me how to make a dish cooking it healthy with soul food.
That's right.
Okay, Selwyn, what dish are we going to cook today?
Well, today we're going to cook Hoppin' Johns.
Hoppin' John.
Yep.
So what exactly is Hoppin' John?
Well, Hoppin' Johns is a dish. It's a medley of rice and black-eyed peas. The one we're using is from the Southwest tradition, which includes smoked turkey sausage, green peppers, and onions.
So Hoppin' John, how did they come up with that name for a dish?
Well, Hoppin' John is a dish from the slavery days, and it's a dish that a slave prepared this dish for his master, and the master loved it so much that he named it after the slave because he wanted it all the time, and the slave's name was Hoppin' John.
So his name was Hoppin' John?
They called him Hoppin' John because he used to walk around with a hop.
Okay.
And again, this is an old wives' tale, but a lot of the foods that we have is considered soul food. They have a lot of wives' tales that go with them, so that makes it interesting for cooking.
So what are some of the ingredients for Hoppin' John?
Well, we have the ingredients here. What we have, I'll start by showing you the green peppers. We also have the black-eyed peas, which is a very good vegetable. We have smoked turkey sausage. Some people use beef in their dishes. And we have, instead of the white rice that's normally used in the dish, what I do is I use a rice medley of wild rice, and it also has some parsley in it as well. And that's cooked in chicken broth. And then, of course, we have our onions as well.
Onions. So the first ingredient that we want to put in it is, I take it, the green pepper.
Actually, right, the green peppers, and I know you already have some started. What we'll do is we'll just add a few more.
Okay. So who taught you to cook? Did you go to school for this?
I didn't. I've been cooking since I've been 8 years old, just watching my grandmother in the kitchen. That's right.
Wow. When I was 8, I was nowhere near the kitchen. I was watching
Now
cartoons.
Put the rest in there.
Oh, so you trust me to cook this, right?
I do. You're going to cook it today, just to show you how easy it is.
Okay. I'm not convinced yet. So when we put the green peppers into the pan, what else do we put in here?
Well, what you're also going to put in is the onions, and I'm cutting one of those up right here. And you can put that onion in now.
Do we use any oil whenever we cook the vegetables?
What you're using now, what you have in there is actually olive oil. And it's a light version of olive oil, so it doesn't have a strong taste to it.
So why would we use olive oil and not a different kind of oil?
Well, olive oil is actually one of the best oils to use. A lot of people use coconut oil, which is really expensive, and they consider coconut oil to be absolutely the best. But olive oil is not as heavy in the saturated fat. It's actually a good fat, opposed to what we use like the Crisco and the lard.
Okay, this is looking really good. I'm doing an excellent job.
You really are. And I told you can do it. So now what we're going to do while that's simmering is we're actually going to go ahead and cut our sausage up because our sausage is going in there with that.
Okay. And you said you use turkey sausage.
Correct. We use turkey sausage.
As opposed to pork.
Exactly. Well, we typically don't use, I don't use pork. And of course we know about the stories, the health with pork. So there are a lot of alternatives out there that actually taste better, and they're good for you. So they taste better and they're better for you.
So this sausage, is it a spicy sausage or
No,
sweet?
actually, the smoked sausage is, most people are familiar with the beef smoked sausage, but it's a mild flavor, so it's not very spicy, but it has a smoked flavoring,
Okay.
like hickory or mesquite. This is a hickory smoked.
Okay. So how long have you been cooking healthy soul food?
Well, I haven't been cooking healthy soul food for that long. I would say maybe about 6 months or so. I worked in a soul food restaurant, so I'm definitely familiar with cooking soul food. But of course, the thing about soul food is, although we love to eat it, sometimes it's not the best for us.
This is true.
And we can actually use fresh veggies from the garden and use the best meats, but because of the way we cook it, it's actually bad for us.
So why do you think more and more people are substituting turkey for pork?
Well, more people are becoming health conscious, and not only that, a lot of the doctors are advising, a lot of their patients to eat healthier. To eat, a lot of the carb conscious or just heart healthy foods. And my thing is, because soul food is a staple from where I grew up, I don't want to just throw it all away. I love it.
Yes.
So I said I like to make it healthy and then maybe show others how they can do that as well.
Okay. So we have turkey sausage that we're going to put in next.
Yes, and I'll just put this in for you.
Now I'm a real good stirrer, as you see.
And you're actually doing very well. And I have some more sausage coming.
So how much sausage should we use? About how much?
Well, this is actually about 16 ounces or a pound of sausage. So this is just 1 pack of sausage. And we're probably going to use close to about 4 cups of rice and about 4 cups of the black-eyed peas to make this dish complete.
Okay, I need to ask you a stupid question.
Sure.
Do we boil the rice first before we put it in here?
Very good question, actually. Yes, you definitely want to cook your rice before you put it in here. And it's always best to cook your rice in some kind of chicken broth to give it some flavor, opposed to using butter or just using any kind of fat.
Okay.
So with that wild rice, I do it with a little chicken broth, let it simmer, just follow the instructions on the box or on the bag, whichever you get it in, and then just add the cooked rice to this.
Okay. So how long does this dish normally take to make?
Normally, you can be done in about 20 minutes. If you prep your stuff like I did, you can actually get a good sizzle on it. This part will probably take the longest because you want that sausage to cook, you want the onions to caramelize a little bit, and the only other thing you have to do is just add your rice and your black-eyed peas.
Okay.
And it'll actually be done.
Wow, so it really doesn't take that long.
Not long at all.
So during the holidays, do you prepare healthy soul food?
We sure do.
Do you trick people? You tell them, oh, this is the real thing, but it's not real?
No, I actually let them know what's in it because they're surprised when they taste it. So even when we make, which is a favorite during the holidays, collard greens. We're so used to having collard greens with ham hocks and with fat back and drenched in oil. Well, I do it with olive oil and with either agave nectar or stevia. And people can't tell the difference.
What is stevia?
Well, stevia is a natural sweetener. It's actually better than sugar. It's low glycemic, but it doesn't have the effects of sugar.
Okay.
And for us, particularly in the black neighborhoods that suffer from diabetes, it's good to find the sugar substitutes that are not artificial. And that's the difference between stevia and, say, a Splendor or an Equal. Those are artificial, opposed to stevia actual coming from a plant.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yes.
You really are teaching me a lot today.
So what you want to do now is just add a little black pepper here.
So should we add salt since we don't have pork in here?
Well, because we had the chicken broth with the rice and it gives it a nice flavor, you have some salt in that turkey sausage.
Oh, so you don't need the salt.
Right, you wouldn't need to add any salt to this.
That's good.
And when I do use salt, I use the sea salt.
Sea salt?
Or there's a pink Himalayan sea salt that you can get that's actually very good. But I just use the regular sea salt for this dish.
Okay. This is looking really good. If you all were in the studio, you would see how this smells. It smells good too. I think I can make this.
I'm sure, I told you.
So are we almost ready for the rice?
We're almost ready for the rice, about 2 more minutes. We just want to get a little brown on that turkey sausage.
So you said you used to work in a soul food restaurant?
I did.
And you saw how the people ate, and you said, we can do this better.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And even, my wife and I go, we visit different churches, and we're very active in our church. And a lot of times we don't eat the best. You know, and other churches that we go to, they'll have fried chicken and green beans swimming in pork. And, you know, being in the church, we know that Jesus said that he came so that we may have life and have it more abundantly.
Right.
And all we seem to have is death and suffering. And a lot of that is because of how we eat.
Because of our diet.
So, again, this was also a motivating factor in us being able to come up with dishes that were healthier so that we could still enjoy the food that we grew up with, but we know that we're literally eating to live.
And not living to eat.
Right. Exactly.
And a lot of people do that too.
Exactly. So now
Sometimes the food is just so good you want extra.
You're right. So now we're ready for your rice.
Okay.
And if you want to move all of that to one side,
Okay.
and I'll let you.
You're going to let me. You trust me.
Yes. And you can just dump it in there.
Oh, just dump it
There
in.
you go.
So about how much rice is this?
Well, that's probably about 4 cups of rice.
About 4 cups of rice.
Yes.
And you just stir it all in, right?
Yes, and we'll actually use just a little more. You can
Just
just
a
scoop
little
a
more?
little bit out of that.
So the rice is kind of
There
like
you
the
go.
filler, right?
That's it, and we're just making a large dish.
All right now.
We're actually doing very well.
Now with the rice in here, we got the sausage in here, the peppers in here, the onions in here,
Right, and you have a pinch of black pepper.
black pepper, and what's next?
Well, next is the final ingredient. That's going to be your black-eyed peas.
Now let's talk about black eyed peas. I know we talked about it a little bit before we started cooking. Which type of black eyed peas should you get? The kinds that's in the can, the frozen, or the
Well-
kind that's dry in the bag?
I don't like using canned foods.
Uh-huh.
And of course, if we're in tight spots, then we use them. But canned foods are preserved. And if they're preserved, then whatever they use to preserve them with, it goes in you when you're eating them. So the best thing to do is buy them fresh. The absolute best thing to do is to grow them yourself, and we know that we can't always do that. But if there are no other alternatives, then at least get frozen fresh,
Frozen fresh.
because those are actually fresh veggies that are picked or that are processed and then flash frozen, placed in bags, and then shipped.
So there's a difference between frozen peas and frozen fresh peas?
Well, it depends on who's packaging, but yeah, frozen fresh is typically frozen as soon as it's picked and cleaned.
Ah.
And of course, the dry beans, which is very common in the stores, the dry peas and beans, those have to be reconstituted. And those aren't necessarily, they're actually better for you than the canned are, but again, those are completely dehydrated, and you have to reconstitute those with water.
Huh.
And now we're ready for your peas.
We're ready for our peas.
And again, these were already pre-cooked. And simply what you need to do to cook these is basically water and your chicken broth, and then you can add a little bit of pepper. If you're going to use any salt, just use a little bit of sea salt, but you have enough seasoning already in this. So
Okay.
here you go. This is still a little warm, but you just want to dump about half of that in there.
Half? With the juice too?
Just a little bit of the juice.
Oh, just a little bit. Oh my God, I'm really doing it. Just half?
So you're preparing the entire dish. Let's go ahead and stir this up and see how much it has. I think that's about 3 cups.
So how long does it take to prepare the peas?
Very good question. Peas take generally 45 minutes to an hour to cook. You want to see the hull start to, or that outside skin start to pop off of a few of them a little bit, and then you want to be able to mash it with your finger, and it's soft, because if not, they'll be crunchy like peanuts, and you certainly don't want that in any of your dishes.
No, that would not be good. You wouldn't have many people going back for seconds for this.
There you go.
Wow, this looks so good. So many different colors in here. And you
That's
can
it.
add even more colors with the red and the yellow peppers if you want to.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this dish, it's done.
It's
You
done?
can actually plate this. This is ready to go.
Should we plate it now?
I would say so. If you grab a plate.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and plate it, okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
What kind of service plan does this come with?
Unlimited.
Can I keep my same phone number?
Absolutely.
How do I change the ringtone?
Just hook it up to your computer.
Does it have a camera? What's the warranty? Does it come in silver? Can I put my party shuffle on this? Does it have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack? You sell a lot of these?
It's the one I carry.
You ever get those phantom vibrations in your pocket?
Any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
I'm home, and I love it. I'm home, where I belong.
It's always nice to come home, but many Americans are at risk of foreclosure and losing their homes. Making home affordable from the U.S. government has already helped over 1 million struggling homeowners like these. The sooner you act, the better chance we can help you.
I'm home, where I belong.
Hey, Luis, did you know that you're Elmo's plan?
Your plan?
Yeah, Elmo's mommy said that if Elmo is too sick to go to school, the plan is that Elmo stays with Luisa Maria.
Oh, yes, we have that plan all in place.
Oh, great!
You never know when your child will be too sick to go to school. So have a plan ready so your child can stay home and get healthy.
Luis is the man, because he's Elmo's plan. The man, because he's Elmo's plan.
To learn more about preventing flu, visit flu.gov.
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov and let the journey begin.
Hey, Luis, did you know that you're Elmo's plan?
Your plan?
Yeah, Elmo's mommy said that if Elmo is too sick to go to school, the plan is that Elmo stays with Luisa Maria.
Oh, yes, we have that plan all in place.
Oh, great!
You never know when your child will be too sick to go to school. So have a plan ready so your child can stay home and get healthy.
Luis is the man, because he's Elmo's plan. The man, because he's Elmo's plan.
To learn more about preventing flu, visit flu.gov.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Preparing that, and it was so easy and so simple. Hopping John.
And you did it.
And I did it.
That's right.
You know what? Let's taste it.
There you go.
I got you a fork.
You said that you couldn't believe it. You said that you didn't believe it.
I don't believe it.
So you saw what we put in this. You believe it's healthy.
Yes, I
Now,
believe it
Tell me
is.
what you think. Do you believe now?
Selwyn, that was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Sure.
You've got to come back because you mentioned earlier that we can make smothered turkey chops.
Exactly.
I don't know if I believe that either.
Well, when I come back, I'll show you exactly how to make smothered turkey chops.
And it's just as simple as this?
Just as simple, and it's healthy.
And it's healthy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Sure, thank you.
I can't wait till you come back. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching A Better You every Wednesday here on Public Access 21.